Hello, welcome to the Comic Book Club. I'm your host, Jamil Payne, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Amanda Comey. How are you doing, Amanda?
I'm doing great.
What it's been like? What have you been doing the last couple of weeks?
Well, I may have mentioned this before, but I am quitting caffeine. I don't have any coffee in the house right now. I am drinking some tea, but, it was pretty weak. I'm convincing myself it doesn't count. I mean, otherwise, there isn't really a lot interesting in my life. If you want to hear some Office Space style stories about my company, I've got way too many of those. We can.
Okay, did you take a printer to a field and beat it to death?
Well, if we had any printers, I would love to do that.
No, we don't want to hear it, because if it doesn't end with that, then I don't see the point of the story, honestly.
I mean, I'm pretty close to, printer or not, finding some sort of symbol of the office to be cathartic with.
Make sure while you're doing it, you have to listen to gangster rap music. It's a rule, okay? Just remember that.
That is one of my most relatable moments in that movie, is where he's listening to the music and then the black guys pull up next to him and he turns the volume down. Because I drive a convertible, and I'm really concerned with what music I listen to while I have the top down.
Really?
Yeah, and I've sort of carefully curated my music selection. I don't play any of my punk rock in my convertible because I feel like I don't even want the bands to be associated with that level of selling out.
Amanda, come on. Man.
So I go purely for things that are plausibly middle-aged, midlife crisis music, almost exclusively Depeche Mode and early Madonna.
Okay, so this actually says we're perfectly what we want to talk about. But I just want to tell you something, Amanda.
Yeah.
I'm a black guy. I don't know if you knew this.
I noticed, yeah.
I listen to a lot of rap music.
Uh-huh.
Rap music is very anti-establishment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rap music is almost punk rock in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think black people gives a fuck about bumping rap music in their Cadillac or their Benz?
They don't, but
again, so listen to your punk rock. Listen to your punk rock loudly in your convertible. It's okay.
I feel like if the guys from Bad Religion could see me driving my cute little Volkswagen convertible, blasting "Fuck Armageddon, This Is Hell," the whole thing doesn't really hang together properly.
Hey, Charlie, look right now. If I had an Escalade or something, I'm bumping "Fuck the Police" by NWA as loud as I can and wouldn't give a fuck. I could have on a fur coat with diamonds on and I still bump "Fuck the Police." I can have a corporate job with a record company and I would still bump "Fuck the Police." You gotta look. I get it.
All right, I'm gonna own it.
Yes,
we're gonna roll through downtown nice and slow, blasting the punk rock. Yeah. Sitting there in my country club car, just.
So I wonder what maybe this the difference, if there is, because I really do think punk rock and rap music are very closely associated as far as the spirit goes, right? But I think what the difference is, a lot of rap music, as anti-establishment as it is about making it out the hood and living well. You know what I'm saying? And punk rock is just about dirt and greasy and being as dysfunctional as possible.
I've always thought of it as white kid blues, where it's very angsty, and typically even now when I listen to punk rock, I'm whew, I'm so glad I grew out of that. So it's also kind of I feel like punk rock has a level of immaturity to it, which just doesn't really match with the cool, confident vibe I'm trying to project to the three people on the side of the street who are completely ignoring me and don't even care what car I'm driving. This is, it's mostly a mental exercise because it's a lot more fun to pick out music if I feel like I have
I feel you. I used to have, I had the opposite where since I'm in the hood a lot. It's certain songs that I won't play. Like I'm not gonna go down the street like bumping the Beatles. Like I'm not, or like Bob Dylan. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? That's not gonna do it where I'm from. That's gonna get me a couple of looks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't care, but like sometimes it'd be like I can't listen to this right here.
Yeah.
They might think they might think to rob me. Anyway, but speaking of middle-aged women, Amanda, this is what I did this weekend. This is what I did Friday. It was my wife's birthday, right?
Happy birthday.
Yes, she turns an age. I will not say her age, but she's around our age.
Okay.
So for her birthday, Amanda,
Yeah.
I took her to the B2K Millennium Concert reunion tour.
Okay.
Now, Amanda,
Yeah.
do you know who B2K is?
I don't think so.
You don't, okay. So B2K, when we're the same age, right?
Yeah.
So B2K was the hot black boy band of the early
Oh.
2000s.
Okay.
So like you had your NSYNCs, you had
Hmm.
your Backstreet Boys, and all the way down here because that's just how this country works. Was B2K, right? B2K was the premier black boy band for their era.
Oh, so you got to go listen to some guilty pleasure music for a couple hours with your wife.
Oh no, I hated that shit. But I hated it when I was younger. I just like it. But no, here's the thing, right? So like we have to. So I have to take her to this, right? So this is what I want to ask you. And like it's just not them. They have like a bunch of other acts, right? So what I want to do is I want to ask you: do you recognize any of these names? This is like this is like an exercise in race relations, okay?
Uh-huh.
B2K, have you heard of them?
Yeah, I heard of them a few minutes ago.
So, okay, cool. What about Mario? Have you heard of Mario?
No.
Pretty Ricky.
Yes?
You've heard of Pretty Ricky?
I might just be confused. Ricky is my husband's name.
Oh, Pretty Ricky came after B2K, and there was like a boy band, but it was for grown, but they were for slightly grown. Look, if boy bands are meant for girls between 11 and 15, or 11 and 16, Pretty Ricky is meant for girls 17 to 22. They was very X-rated, very, very sexual, so they was a boy band, but
no. Definitely not familiar with that.
So, like, they had names like Pleasure, Spectacular, Baby Blue. These are the names they had in Pretty Ricky. So you never heard of Pretty Ricky. Okay.
And I feel like I'm missing out now.
What about Bobby Valentino? He used to be with Ludacris. They had like a really famous song.
Yeah, I don't think I've
Pimpin'
heard.
Like Pimpin' All Over the Glove. Here we are, the women and the caviar. Pimpin' All Over the Globe? Okay, you never heard of them.
Nope.
Chingy. Have you heard of Chingy?
Maybe?
Right There. He had the song Right There.
Okay.
Have you heard that song? That was like his big hit. They're like...
Was this more of like...
He was with Ludacris also.
Okay, I think maybe.
He's a little bit after. This probably would have been like 21, 22, maybe. But Right There, like, I like how you do it right there. That, because I feel like that's one of those songs that might translate over to like nerdy white, not nerdy, but just like white people music. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things that might. It's one of those songs. You know what I'm saying? Like Baby Got Back or something that might translate. Okay, so you never heard of that? All right, got you. The Yin Yang Twins. I know you know the Yin Yang Twins, right?
Nope.
You don't know To the Windows, To the Wall, To the Sweat Drop Off My Balls.
See now, I think your problem is that you could also do this with quote white people music of the same era, and I also wouldn't really know.
Really? So you don't know any Britney Spears or Backstreet Boys songs?
No, I know Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys, but that's mostly because I've been to a wedding in the last 5 years.
So you never heard To the Windows, To the Wall, To the Sweat Drop Off My Balls, All skeet, 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 motherfucker. All skeet, skeet, goddamn.
Nope. Sorry.
You have to heard some of these songs. Okay. So that was the lineup for this concert, and man, I'm talking about a theater of 60,000 middle-aged women. Okay, Jack calls me during the concert, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's loud. He called me right when B2K was coming on because they the headline. I had to hang up the phone. And he tells me, like, what was that? I said, Jack, I can't talk right now. I'm with a bunch of horny middle-aged women reliving their adolescence. I'm gonna have to hit you back later. And that's exactly what it was.
Wow.
And
well, if you enjoyed that experience, I highly recommend sitting through the next Magic Mike marathon.
Like, it's funny, man, about culture, right? Because I just found out that white people think Genuine only got like one hit song because that's the song Channing Tatum danced to.
Oh, interesting.
And like black people had to correct like a bunch of white people on Twitter, like, no, Genuine has several hits. We know you just heard of Pony, but but no, a reason I bring like the one I wanted to bring it up just to see if you heard, but also the names of the people in B2K are hilarious because a lot of them sound like maybe broke down superheroes. or like budget superheroes. So these are the names of the people in B2K. I named the ones in Pretty Ricky, which is like Pleasure, Baby Blue, Spectacular. So B2K. The names go Lil Fizz, J Bug, Raz B, and Omarion. Have you heard of Omarion?
No.
Okay.
I feel like I'm really letting you down. I feel like you haven't been this disappointed in me since I told you that I might not be able to get Endgame tickets the first weekend. It was just a morning of disappointment.
It's fine. It's fine. So, listeners, we was going to plan on doing the Endgame episode when it comes out because I like to be on time with the hot new comic book movies. But somebody on this podcast wasn't quick enough on the draw. I'm not gonna say any names, Amanda, but we may have to postpone that episode to the week after it comes out if somebody can't find tickets, Amanda.
We'll see. We'll see what I can do. It may involve me searching to see if I can find like single seats in between groups of other people. We'll see what I can find.
Look, this is all I'm gonna say, right? If you gotta go Sunday night and we gotta record like Monday, we gotta record 10 o'clock at night, I am more than willing.
All right.
To do it if you.
I will consider all available options. I won't rule anything out.
So the Endgame tickets went on sale, and it was a bloodbath online to get them because they didn't announce it. They didn't say be ready. They just said it. It just went out in a tweet, and it was like this slow progression out during the day. Cause like I got it pretty early. I got it within 30 minutes, so I was able to get tickets. I spent $114 on IMAX tickets for 5 IMAX tickets for the only IMAX theater in Georgia, and it's an hour away, like an hour and 10 minutes away from here. So I ended up getting tickets, but I heard
how far did you drive for the B2K concert?
Oh, thank God it was. Thank God it was in the city. It was in our big arena that we had here.
Okay.
But yeah, so we got our tickets. But
Great,
I heard,
I'm happy for you.
But I know, right? But I heard a lot of people didn't get tickets because the sites kept crashing. I guess you was one of those casualties, Amanda?
No, I was just at work, and
ain't that
by
worst?
the time I get home, I go and I check, and there's nothing at the local theater, and all of the destination theaters that would be like worth driving to DC or Baltimore for, like also completely sold out.
Right. Okay. So Amanda, would you like to relay your thoughts when someone told you they was going?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm putting you on the spot. That's right.
No, so I'm sitting there at work where I don't really spend all my time, on the internet because I'm working, and one of my coworkers comes up and he's like, "So, do you think like do I need to have watched like the Age of Ultron movie, or like which of the Marvel movies do I need to watch? Because like we already got our, perfect center of the theater IMAX tickets for the first opening showing for me and my whole family, and I have a babysitter and everything lined up." I was like, really? Really? Like, you fucking filthy casual, fair weather Marvel fan are gonna ruin this for me and buy all the seats, and I'm gonna either get to wait a week to see it, or I'm gonna have to sit like in the back corner next to somebody who's crinkling their chip bag.
Or right in the front, one or the other. Both
Yeah, right in the front, and head back the whole time. Just like, man, I'm like, like this doesn't seem fair. Like, yes, you're allowed to go to the movie, but like, could you please not make me? I'm gonna. This is a joke, but could you please not make me do like your emotional labor on understanding this Marvel culture? Like,
oh, you're not joking. You're not joking at all.
So yeah, it was a little frustrating, because a lot of my coworkers know that I'm into, they come and they ask me about movies all the time. They know that I'm like the comic book person. And then they're like, "Oh, surely you already got tickets." And I'm like, no, I didn't get my tickets already because I was working on that thing you asked me to work on. What were you doing? Oh, you were getting tickets. Okay, great. I'm glad we had this chat. Come by my cubicle whenever you want.
Amanda, you could point some of these people towards our podcast. Just, I'm just saying, it would be nice.
All right, well, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. But look, all I'm saying is Amanda Comey is the face of toxic fandom. That's all I want to say with this episode.
Well, acknowledging the problem is the first step in getting help.
So, speaking of movies and comic books, today we are talking Shazam, the comic book and the movie.
Woo!
That's right. So, if you would have told me when I was a little kid, right, that within 3 weeks of each other there would be 2 Captain Marvel movies from like both Marvel and DC, I would say you was number one. Ask who the fuck is the Captain Marvel from DC, because I don't fucking know. And second of all, you are tripping. That would never happen. But yet, 2019, here we are, Amanda. Here we are.
Yeah, it's I was also, yeah, I'm also kind of incredulous that this happened, and I'm also shocked at how great both of them were. So,
well, okay, so I think we should talk about the comic first, then we'll roll into the movie, because
yep.
I actually have something to say. Amanda, today we are reading Shazam, the Monster Society of Evil, written and drawn by the Bone creator, Jeff Smith. It was released in 2007. This tells the story of a young orphan Billy Batson who finds himself transformed into the world mighty as mortal whenever he says the magic word Shazam. Billy must use these extraordinary abilities to face an invasion of alien creatures, as well as stop the mad scientist Dr. Savina and his Monster Society of Evil from taking over the world. So, Amanda, Shazam, the Monster Society of Evil, what did you think of it?
This definitely felt like a kid's comic.
Right.
It very much felt like, it felt like maybe like a Justice League cartoon episode. Just in terms of the way that like the ending felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very like sort of self-contained and slightly moralistic, but very simple. And I mean, we've read a lot of stuff recently that's really, really more complicated. So I don't know, like I raced through it and I got to the end and I was like, really, is that it?
It's a quick read.
Yeah. So like at first I was like a little disappointed, and then I was like, no, wait, like comic books are for children sometimes. And this is a really great comic book for a kid, to get them into this character.
So, well, comic books are for children? I never would have guessed.
I said they could be.
Could be. Oh, okay. I never would have guessed. People in tight clothes and capes were made for children. No. So, I really like this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I feel bad in a way because it's kind of light, right? So I don't know how much we can say about this because, like I said, it is light. It's not heavy on like theme. It's not really heavy on theme a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just a simple adventure story, like you said, and like, you know, I don't know really what to say, but I did enjoy it. I think when I think of Shazam, this is like this is almost what I think of. I will say that when I think of Shazam, excuse me, Captain Marvel. When I think of Captain Marvel, this is kind of what I've always had pictured in my head, honestly. What this type of innocence,
Right.
you know, he's not marred down in the crazy complications as his other, superhero brethren.
It's almost like if you took Superman and made it even more simple.
Right.
Like, you go, oh, it's Superman, but actually he's only a kid, so we don't even have B plots that are about his job or his girlfriend.
Exactly.
And then we take that extra energy and put it into having ludicrous villains.
I mean, just the craziest, just insane.
Yeah.
So, you know the history behind Captain Marvel, right? That DC sued this character out of existence before they bought them like 20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was outselling Superman, and the copyright laws back in 1950 was a little more shady. Like, they couldn't do that now. You know what I'm saying? But back then they totally got away with suing these people and sending down Fawcett Comics.
Yeah.
I could honestly see why this character outsold Superman.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, right? Because I've read a lot of Superman, and Superman is a special character. But I get it. Because like you said, there's something almost Goonies-like to pick a movie. It's just a fun adventure. You know what I'm saying? Like the art is really good, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? The character of Captain Marvel is really imaginative, and I never got why what the whole big deal of like a kid turning into a big strong man was. I never really got that, but I've read this and I finally understood it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's something cool because Superman is only tangentially mythology in a weird way. You know what I'm saying? He's only tangentially deals with mythology, but they have like just full on mythology baked into the superhero, add like an extra level of cool to me, in my opinion.
I also like that, okay, so Superman is technically an alien, and like that's why he's better than us.
Right.
And that's why he's able to be such a good person and take the high road and all of that stuff. But I think there's this element in these Shazam Captain Marvel stories of this idea that like people are born good.
Okay.
The idea that it's a little boy to Captain Marvel Shazam kind of allows the idea people are born good. As someone who's corrupted by life can be like the best superhero possible. I just by saying that he's an alien and that's why he's better than us. So I think be some of the appeal, not at like a conscious level. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like, I really think that's like the thing, right? Like like somehow the idea of like a human being the best of us instead of an alien is somehow a better message. I don't know.
It's just, it gives you, it's more hopeful because it's about potential.
Right.
And it's also, it's funny that, you know, if we keep comparing him to Superman, we've also got like the orphan story. But Billy is sort of like a self-made man, I guess. Like he's like raising himself.
Like he's an actual orphan instead of like Superman who won like the parent lottery. Basically.
Yeah. No, it's very oh man, does Superman have like mom privilege?
Mom privilege? What the hell is mom privilege?
Like he had a privileged life because he had like a mom, you know, so like he doesn't understand all these other superheroes who lost their moms. Is that why he and Batman fight?
Martha? No, we're not going down. No, Amanda, we're not going down.
Did we find out what his mom's name was? It Martha Batson?
Martha Batson. I don't know. Since they love their alliteration, it's probably Barbara Batson. I don't know. I just made that up. Dad's name was Ben Batson.
So, were there some favorite elements from this story that you want to mention? I think there were a few like extra fantastical things in this comic that definitely didn't make it into the movie that I would love to.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now, I love Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Like, no, I'm not gonna be one of those people that try to like call the stuff I love stupid. I'm not gonna say that. But it is kind of ridiculous. It's not stupid, but it is kind of ridiculous. But this is it's the most comic booky thing. It's almost even more absurd for a comic book that like his greatest enemy is a little worm.
Yeah.
Caterpillar, whatever he is, with a voice box.
Yeah. And all of the like anthropomorphic, like animal bad guy. So yeah, I love all of the little like anthropomorphic, like reptile, alligator goons or whatever that work for Mr. Mind. It's just, again, it's so like why not, you know?
It just gives you this feeling. I don't know what the feeling is. You just feel great. I know that's a weird thing to say about like alligator men and small caterpillar people, but it's so childish, but in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just feels good just to read something like this. So, like, I want to ask you, Amanda.
Yeah.
What did you think of Jeff Smith's art? Because honestly, to me, in my opinion, that's the best thing about the comic. Like, I love everything, but to me, the best thing about this comic is the art.
I think that the art was really, really good. I had two small criticisms. One is that there were a few pages where I felt like there may have been like an awkward transition between two panels, or I felt like I might have been missing like a piece of dialogue or something.
Okay.
And the other criticism is that in some places it looks like he draws kids more as just like small adults. Something about the proportions was like a little bit off, but not everywhere.
Right.
So those were like literally my only two criticisms, was that there were like 5 panels I looked at that were like, oh, I can explain how this might be slightly better.
Gotcha.
Which means that we're squarely in the exceptional art category.
We love our exceptional art. So I think it really fits with Captain Marvel. Like, he draws Captain Marvel. Just Captain Marvel himself fantastically.
Yes.
So, do you have any favorite characters besides Mr. Mime?
I did really like the tiger. Was it Taki Tani? What was the
Yes.
that was just again another like cute whimsical element, and also like a really good signal of how kind and accepting Billy is, even when he's not trying to be a superhero. You know, this guy is essentially like your archetypal hobo, and you know, Billy's friends with him and like looks out for him a little bit and is like super accepting of him and doesn't think he's like some creepy weird guy. And then finds out that he's also a magical tiger monster guy and he knows what's going on and he sort of becomes his sidekick. And it's yeah, it's just such a pleasant addition to the story.
There's a lot of whimsy in this story. Like this story has whimsy comes out of its ears. What do you think of Mary Marvel?
Okay, she didn't do much in this story. But I do kind of like the idea that he can share this power.
Right.
I am a little I guess she gets like a version of his powers or like only part of it because she's still a kid when she transforms.
Yeah, that's new, I think.
Okay.
Usually Mary Marvel is usually as old as he is or close to his age.
Mm-hmm.
And when she transforms, she's like almost a female version of him, but more girly. She doesn't transform into like Wonder Woman or anything, you know.
Right.
Which I guess you could probably see a set since he turns into a giant man god, and like Mary just gets slightly older. Yeah.
This being like my primary exposure to Captain Marvel in the comics, I mean, it seemed fine to me, and it seemed like if there was a follow-up to this volume, she would have been set up as like the sidekick.
Did you know in the comics he has a whole family?
I mean, I was like vaguely aware of that, but that didn't mean that I knew what all their rules were for how their powers worked.
Oh, don't worry, it changes all the time.
Right. But so in this example, I was like, oh, okay, like that's kind of how that works, and like I guess, you know, like I said, like I guess, they get set up to be like sidekicks or something, and he's the main guy.
And like this is another thing I wanted to point out too. Was this book not successful? Because I feel like this could have kept going. Honestly,
I feel like you and I are very accepting of things like I'm an adult reading a comic book for a child. I don't really know who this book would have been marketed to, because adults would have been like, no, Captain Marvel's stupid. I'm not going to read a kid's book about Shazam. And like, I don't know if kids were quite clamoring for a Shazam book. Like I said, maybe if you saw him on like the Justice League cartoon and we're like, mommy, I want a Captain Marvel book. Like maybe this is the one you would have ended up with, but.
And this was like 2007. I think he started in 2003 and finished in 2007. So like the market was a lot different back then, I guess.
Well, and that I think knowing that also makes a big difference, because if you like you can give a kid a graphic novel, but like giving a kid like a stack of floppies, you can't guarantee they're going to read them in order or even understand that they're all part of the same story, depending on like age.
Right.
Like my friend, her kids borrow my comic books sometimes, and like it's definitely like the if the boy definitely prefers borrowing like My Ultimate Spider-Man trades versus like the floppies I have laying around, because like he'll look at the floppies but he doesn't like even get that they're like the same story as like the book that he's holding.
Oh, so it's like a version of me where it's just like, yeah, I take this whole story as opposed to like this 22 pages.
And this being like part of the charm of this is how all the pieces work together pretty well, and it has a nice tidy like sitcom TV show style ending.
Right.
And so if you don't get it all at once, it would be kind of like, what am I even doing waiting around for, you know, a month for another picture of a cute alligator man? Like, life is too short for this.
Yeah. I think, honestly, if they would have tried this now, they might have a little more success. Maybe not as a mainline book, but definitely it's like an all ages book, right? If you like put this in an all ages, or sold it like directly to Scholastic, kind of like what they do with Devil Dinosaur and Science Girl for Marvel. I could see this book being a big hit, especially now that there's a movie, you know.
Yeah.
So, I think let's see here. What do you think about Dr. Savina? Or like I think it's weird that he has so many hats. Like, you know, like not only was he like a doctor, I'm not for sure what he was a doctor of, but he was also a scientist. He seemed like he was also a medical doctor, but he was also the Secretary of State. I don't know how being a doctor qualify you for that role, but he seems to wear a lot of hats in this book.
It's funny because for a second I thought you meant literal hats, and I was like, I love hats. How did I miss this little bald man wearing a bunch of different hats? That would have been adorable.
To hide his baldness, like nobody knows that he's bald.
Yeah. No, you meant roles. You meant metaphorical hats.
Yeah, like I'm not for sure if this is something somebody could do. Well, you know what? I take that back. I forgot what.
It was oddly prescient, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, right.
Somebody thoroughly unqualified for a government office could be out there screwing it up for everybody.
Somebody who has way too much like martial power than what they should have. Like,
I took Dr. Savannah to sort of symbolize like you know how in the Peanuts cartoons the adults were never really characters, and when they talked it was just a sad trombone?
Yeah.
So I sort of took the doctor as being like just this weird amalgamation of just like bad grown-ups.
Okay.
From the point of view of like a kid. So it's like a kid wouldn't really understand that like a medical doctor and a scientist are different jobs, and that neither one of them also makes you like president of the city. It's a little bit like it's a little bit like President Business in the Lego movie. Like
right.
When you're a kid, you just see grown-ups are in charge, and there's no real nuance about it.
You know, I'm so afraid that someone's gonna write us in and tell us how several doctors how several doctors and scientists been Secretary of State or whatever the hell his
Oh, I mean, honestly, scientists are starting to take a bigger role in politics and policy and stuff. But it's just I don't think that Jeff Smith, Mr. Bone, was making a statement about the secularization and you know, bringing science into politics. I think it was just like a generic power hungry adult.
Yep. So
with a suspicious lack of hats, man.
You know what? I don't know why I entered this into the like when we talk about the movie. Are you going to say I like the movie, but no hats?
I mean, it is. I always am evaluating movies, you know, for hat related content. I just know that it's not really, most people don't care, so I don't bring it up.
Okay, so Amanda, to close this out, would you recommend this book, and who would you recommend it to?
So I would recommend it to, I would absolutely recommend it to my friend for her children.
Right.
I would absolutely recommend it to anyone who, like, remembers Captain Marvel from back in, like, the Justice League cartoons and is looking for, like, a standalone to read to see if they want to get into the character.
Okay.
And I don't think I would recommend it to, like, my coworkers after seeing the movie, you know? But maybe you can compare it quickly to, you also read the Jeff Jones run, right?
I did.
So was that maybe more for grown-ups?
So, okay, here's the thing. I just want to say I also recommend this book. I love this book. Here's the thing. You know, just for a little background, when we do these movie/comic book episodes, listeners, and if you notice that we kind of read the story that goes along with the movie, or at least what the movie is based after. You know what I'm saying? To some small, you know, we did it with Daredevil. You know, season 3 of Daredevil is based after Born Again. So we read Born Again. Excuse me. Same thing with Aquaman with Throne of Atlantis. We read that, you know, because it loosely follows that story. And I was after I read the Shazam comic, I was like, maybe we should have read what this comic book, this movie was based after of, because the Jeff Smith book is so light, which again is not a complaint. But I was worried, like, oh well, like since this was so light, maybe we just should have read the New 52 run. I know the movie is based after it, but I'm glad we didn't now, because I sat there and read the Jeff Johns run last night at work, the whole 180 pages, right? Amanda, when I say it's almost beat for beat for the movie, it's almost beat for beat for the movie.
Wow.
Even more than Daredevil, even more than Aquaman.
Wow.
Like, they literally just took that comic and made the movie. Which is weird, because I've always wanted that, and I think I still do. So this is not really a complaint, but just for the sake of conversation for this show, I'm glad we chose another Shazam book to read as opposed to that.
Okay.
Because we literally just been reviewing this. We really been discussing the same story twice.
Wow.
I mean, beat for beat. The only real right down to the, like, stupid coat that Billy wears in the movie, like long coat that he wears. Right down to that is in the comic. It's good. Like that's the thing. It's good. I'm not saying that it's not.
Well, and for years I've been like yelling into the cloud of the internet or whatever, saying like, hey, if the comics are so popular that you're going to make a movie out of them, why not use the comics? Especially like, because at some level the comics are essentially storyboards.
Right.
Like if you start making a movie out of a comic book, you're like 3 months ahead of schedule because the storyboards are done for you.
And now you got.
So I've always kind of been shouting that, and now I'm happy that, you know, I'm happy that DC is finally doing that, but I'm also happy that I didn't read the same story as the movie that I saw, like, all in the same day.
I mean, I recommend it. I think you should read it just to see how close it is. Like, it is shockingly close.
Okay.
Right up into the climax, even the climax. The major difference is that Dr. Savina and Black Adam is one character in the movie. In the comic book, Black Adam is also there. So so they kind of split. Like, Dr. Savina is still doing his thing,
Mm-hmm.
But you know how in the movie he also has powers and stuff and all that?
Yeah.
In the comic, they split them apart, and Black Adam is doing all the physical stuff while Dr. Savina is doing like all the other stuff.
Okay.
With the 7 deadly sins and stuff. So that's the only thing they combined for the movie. And I think the only reason they combined that is because The Rock is playing Black Adam and they're not ready for The Rock to be in these movies yet. That's the only reason they combined those two characters for the movie. Besides that, like, it's so close that even the characters, the little kid characters, look like their movie counterparts.
Well, I mean, you know, if it ain't broke.
Cause look, I'm looking at the movie. I guess we're discussing the movie and they're like, oh, look at that. They made the Shazam family all multicultural. Yay for diversity. And I thought that was a movie thing. Nope.
You know, I was gonna say, thinking about the Shazam family and how
Marvel
it was
family,
like,
Marvel.
yeah. Sorry.
No, you're right. No, you're right. It is Shazam family now, but just...
I've been using them interchangeably, but thank you. Really, what that reminded me of, and I wanted to bring this up, Power Rangers.
Yes.
I was like, we got one of each, and they're all wearing matching primary color costumes. And they're having fun, and they're saving Angel Grove.
Hold on, time out. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh no. I was just like, hey, like, we all pretend, like, we all think it's cool to pretend we don't love the Power Rangers, but guess what? Everybody in the theater was flipping out when the Power Rangers showed up and saved the day at the end.
So, okay, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. We are now reviewing Shazam the movie, starring Zachary Levi as Shazam. I don't have a list of everybody else. I think who directed this exactly? I can't.
I'll pull up IMDb for you.
Yes. Thank you. But this is what we're reviewing now. We touched on the comic. I think it's now time to touch on the movie. So, just for me, as Amanda is pulling this up, I'm vamping. Excuse me.
Okay, so I can give us a few of the lead actors that we'll probably discuss. So Zachary Levi was adult Shazam, Captain Marvel.
Billy Batson.
Asher Angel was Billy Batson.
Okay.
Jack Dylan Grazer played Freddy. Mark Strong was Dr. Thaddeus. Dr. Thaddeus Savina.
Okay, what? Okay. Yeah. His first name is Thaddeus?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And our favorite guest star character actor, Jamon Hansu, was the Wizard.
Sweet. Did they say who played Dr. Mime? For his,
no, I actually came home and literally looked for the voice credit for that, and I'm going to tell you, I couldn't find it, but I have a guess. My guess is that it's Andy Serkis, because he did the mocap for the 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh, okay.
And so if he was around, I'm sure that he would have been happy to fill in for that.
By the way, you completely spoiled that he was in the movie. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that.
I spoiled that Andy Serkis was in the movie?
No, that Dr. Mime was in the movie.
You guys, Andy Serkis is all of the animals and all of the monsters and all of the movies. You guys, don't worry about it.
You spoiled Dr. Mime. I'm being I'm being facetious. Like, I kind of figured he'll be in this movie somehow. At least I hoped. But I looked on Twitter and you just wrote Dr. Mime in all caps. I was just like, well, I guess he's in the movie.
That's not really a spoiler.
But now, how excited after reading the comic, how excited were you to see him? How happy were you to see him, Amanda?
I was very excited because he's a great villain. And also I was just like that's courage, you know?
They had the balls to actually put him in the movie actually have, that takes a lot of balls. I don't know if I would have had those balls. So, Amanda, what do you think of Shazam the movie?
I thought this was a great movie. It felt very much like an 80s movie. And at multiple points I sat there and I went, wait, what is this rated? Like, is this going to give children nightmares? Is
Right.
this going to, like, emotionally damage? Do I now know what the next generation of children are going to talk to their therapist about because of this movie?
Large Marge and Pee Wee Big Adventures. I'm sorry. I haven't finished that. Go ahead, continue. You said 80 movies and like Scars, Large Marge. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, just, the idea that, you can make a movie for children without sugarcoating everything, without, talking down to kids or simplifying things.
Without them being perfect and
yeah.
and with them cursing, like, cause like that's what kids do if we being honest,
Yeah. So I was really just kind of shocked that it had that, authentic feel. I mean, I'm too old to really know what kids are like now, but
kids never change.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I thought that was great, and I was like so happy that the bad guy was actually scary. That's really like my biggest takeaway from the film. What about you?
Oh, I think I teared up.
Oh.
Like, this movie touched me in a place that I wasn't expecting. Shut up. But I love this movie. Like, to me, I think this is what people felt when they talk about Into the Spider-Verse. I felt that with this movie. It's everything I've ever wanted in my DC superhero movies. Cause here's the thing, right? DC is different from Marvel in a lot of ways, and like one of those ways is like aspirational, right? Like these DC characters are just more aspirational. They larger than life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say necessarily more fun because DC can get dark too, but you know what I'm saying? There's just an air of like the fantastic that's not necessarily in Marvel Comics because Marvel Comics by design is told to be a little more grounded. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
They went full superhero. I wonder is this what they felt? I wonder is this what people felt back in 1977 when like Christopher Reeves like flew as Superman, right? And I want to look. It's not the greatest superhero movie ever made, but it might be one of my top favorites. It might go in my top 5 as of right now of my personal top 5. And I don't want to be too hyperbolic. I want to build this up for people because some people may not love it as much as I do, man. But like this movie really did something, and like there was times in this movie that I was kind of emotional. Awkward silence.
No, I'm giving it space. No, I agree. This was very like emotionally true, and I wasn't really expecting that. And
right.
I think that the comparisons to Superman are apt. When was the last time you rewatched that first Superman movie?
It's been a while, but not too long, but probably within the last 5 to 10 years.
Okay, it's so good still. And like the like joy at watching Superman fly with the fanfare and everything, it still works. And I do think that this movie captured a little bit of that. And that's kind of been missing in a lot of the recent superhero movies.
DC or Marvel at that, both.
Yeah.
I believe.
Like I think the Wonder Woman movie had a few minutes of that. But like not sustained throughout the whole thing. And this definitely had a little bit more of that. I wish there was a word for the Superman feeling. The flying feelies. I don't know what you call it.
Also, I want to say this. I'm gonna tell you the one thing these DC movies have over Marvel, even like the ones we don't like. I will say this, and I thought I'd never say this. They've somehow nailed to somehow translate these costumes almost perfectly from the comic book without making damn near any changes. Like, it's kind of incredible. You know, and like Marvel does great with costumes, right? Because like we old enough to remember when like all superheroes dressed in black because colorful costumes were too ridiculous, and like Marvel kind of said, hey, no, we can do this. Like we can update it, make it a little more real worldly. Like DC doesn't
we called it the cosplay effect.
Right.
Like Marvel almost wants to make sure that you feel like you could wear their costume out in public.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And like DC is like, no, you guys wanted comic book movies. You get spandex, you get physically implausible capes, you get all of it.
You get really big muscles like just you'll never have.
Yeah.
Like, and
we're not even going to bother to make the actors train. It's just all going to be fake.
Oh no, I seen pictures of what's his name without his shirt on. He trained, but yes, he definitely had.
Okay, I let me do a little research.
I'll make a promise now. I'm gonna stop saying shit not perfect, because when we was growing up, we never said that about movies we loved, and like we can see imperfection in movies, but like we live in an age where everybody want to be critical, and they just ashamed to say they love something without giving a little bit of critical. I don't want to give no like critical analysis in that way. Well, it's not perfect. Look, this movie is great. You should go see it. Everybody should go see it. It's good for it. It's great for adults. It's great for kids. It's great for your little snot-nosed 4-year-old that you got no brain.
It's great for if you're standing there and you thought you were somehow going to walk in and buy Endgame tickets day of, and you need to go see the only other movie that's playing that day.
You okay there, Amanda?
Yeah. If the weekend Endgame comes out, I can only go see the Shazam movie again. I would be perfectly happy.
Well, look, if you're feeling better, just look at shirtless shots of Zachary Levi. That'll make you feel better.
Yes. Will not make me feel worse.
Yeah.
Really, really what I need is Mark Strong wearing hats.
That's what you need. I think Mark Strong, man, he's such a good actor. He was the perfect Sinestro in the Green Lantern movie. Unfortunately, it was just the wrong Green Lantern movie.
Yes.
But he was perfect casting. And honestly, I think he probably would have been a great Black Adam, in my opinion. They got The Rock, apparently. Yeah. But I think Mark Strong would have brought a little more regalness to what that character deserves. But yes, Mark Strong in this movie, I think is great for what he does. I thought, honestly, his villain character from the commercial and the promotions, right? I thought, okay, he's going to be a villain, but they're not going to give him really a whole lot. He does a lot in this movie, and they actually give him a pretty good backstory, and I was shocked by that.
I was absolutely floored by that cold open. It was 3 minutes into the movie, and I was already like, wait, what is this rated? Like, have I stumbled it? Like, I thought this was like a maybe PG-13 movie. I was like, is this an R-rated movie? Like, we have like the dad shouting abusive stuff at the kid. Is
that John Glover? Is that John Glover?
I think so.
Like he got this damn pal playing shitty DC dads, huh?
Yeah.
He was Martin Luther, by the way, if anybody wondering, on Smallville.
But yeah, so I'm like, okay, so we got like the shitty dad, the shitty brother, and then, he gets whisked away, and you're like, I think I know what's going to happen. And then the wizard is just like, no, sorry, you're not good enough. And then it just keeps getting worse constantly. I'm like, what are you doing? What is this movie doing already?
It gives you so much sympathy for him.
Yeah.
Because, like, that would fuck you up, right? If people in your car telling you ain't good enough, then you go to the magic place and he say you're not good enough, of course you become a villain. You have no choice but to become a villain at that point. We will all become villains.
Well, and it's such a strong counterpoint because Billy was at a point in his life where if someone else had come up to Billy and been like, "You're not good enough," like he might have gone the other way.
Right.
And at the point where he does meet the wizard, okay, so what if the wizard's desperate and didn't have anybody else? He did take a chance on him and say like, "Hey, look, like you're all I got, I'm all you got, like we got to try." And he like rises to the challenge he's been given, you know? Like that is way, way, way cooler of a message than him having been pure and like the original chosen one or whatever. Just like the Jeff Smith book that we read, like this character is all about potential, and that's like way more inspiring than being a magical alien or the daughter of Zeus.
Yeah. And like there's actually one conversation from like the Jeff Johns run I wish they would have kept, is because like the meeting happens almost exactly the same, but in the comic Billy gives a conversation about how nobody is good, nobody is purely good. Like how long you been searching? This is what you said, like a long time. Like you're gonna keep searching, you're looking for someone's. If you keep looking for this perfect person will never come. And that actually convinces the wizard to give him the power. And I kind of wish they would have kept that conversation in the movie. Or did they? And I can't remember.
No, they didn't. I think that actually Dr. Sivana says that to him when he comes back to take the eye.
Yeah, he does.
He lectures him, and he's like, "You were waiting forever, like no one is pure." And then when Billy shows up, Billy is even like he's like, "No, like I don't want any part of your weird subway magic. Like I'm just gonna leave." So like he doesn't even know what he's been given.
I guess we should talk about characters. Like that's another thing about this movie. There's a lot of great characters. There's 10 or 15 really good characters in this movie.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, so I think the biggest difference compared to the book that we read was that Freddy as the sort of like sidekick character.
Yeah.
Amazing. That kid carried the entire movie. Let me look his name up again. We should use Jack Dylan Grazer. And he was also in the It movie.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to see. He was Eddie in that one. But I don't remember which kids are which.
I haven't seen the new It movie. It was scary.
It was about the same as the old one.
Oh, well, then that's not scary at all. That's not what I heard at all, man. I don't know if I can trust you on that.
I would also not trust me on that. But anyway, so, I mean, this kid, Mr. Grazer, completely knocked it out of the park as Freddy. Just like the dark humor and the sarcasm and just like this pragmatic realism about his situation. And like the Superman fanboying, just made like the sidekick character, like it's been a long time since we've had a movie where the superhero had a sidekick, right?
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
Because everyone's like Robin's stupid. Why would we do that? And it's like, no, Robin could be really cool.
Yeah.
Robin could be a really important character. The Robin character doesn't even have to be in a costume. I think maybe the closest we got was like Spider-Man's friend. In the last Marvel Spider-Man movie.
Yes, that's about as close as you get to a Robin nowadays.
But no, I just I don't know. Like, were there any particular scenes with Freddy that were your favorite?
Freddy? Oh well, Freddy is probably my favorite because it's just, look, we're Freddy, right? Like me and you, we're Freddy, right? Yeah. Like, you know, we're the wide-eyed innocents. I'm not saying Freddy is completely innocent, but like, we're the wide-eye fanboying over superheroes.
Yeah, in a world full of cynical, boring, normal people, the audience and Freddy are the ones who are completely stoked about the superpowers.
Right, and in my opinion, he carries the movie just as much as Astro Angel does, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't work without Freddy.
Right.
So, what do you think of Zachary Levi as Shazam?
Oh, I mean, like, he did a great job. That goes without saying. Like, I can't imagine any other.
Right. Look, you hit the nail on your head, right? Like, when Christopher Reeves did Superman, it's just like nobody else can do Superman, right? Nobody would ever live up with Christopher Reeves. And it's nobody's fault, right? Nobody would ever live up to Christopher Reeves Superman. He was born to play that role. I got that same feeling with Zachary Levi as Shazam.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, it also might be a shame because now I'm like, is Zachary Levi ever going to be able to do like another movie? Because like now every time you see him, you're going to be thinking Shazam, you're going to be thinking Captain Marvel, you're going to be, so no, I think that was like really, really inspired casting and he did an amazing job. Just, I still have IMDb open, to make sure we get people's names right. And, I'd forgotten that Zachary Levi was in Thor.
Yeah, he played, Findral, the pretty one.
Yeah, completely forgettably.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna give you some comic book fact. I'm gonna give you some comic book trivia about this, right?
Sure.
When they was first making the Thor movies, the original plan was the Warrior 3 was going to be a bigger part of that franchise, right?
Yes.
And he was actually cast as Findral in the first. He doesn't play Findral in the first. Isn't that his name, Findral? I believe, isn't that it?
Yeah.
He doesn't play Findral in the first movie, but he was supposed to.
Okay.
And like, it was like a scheduling conflict, so he couldn't do it. He had to drop out. Everybody was sad because at the time, the Warriors 3 was going to be like, it was going to be Thor and this group, you know what I'm saying? But as we know, as the movies went on, they kind of went away from that. So when he finally gets the role in Thor 2 and Thor 3, it's not what it was supposed to be. And it was a shame, you know what I'm saying? It was really a shame.
Yeah.
Cause I remember he was happy to get the role. Then I remember how sad he was when he had to drop out. But then when he finally does get it in the other two movies, they completely sidelined those characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just like, so he gets a second chance at this.
Not unlike Ryan Reynolds, you know.
Or Chris Evans.
Or Ben Affleck. Sometimes you got to be a bad superhero before you can be a good superhero. A starter hero.
Or in Michael B. Jordan, a bad hero to be a good villain.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like the Human Torch makes stars apparently. Like you have to be a terrible Human Torch before you can be like a star. It seems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he does great, and I think that might be a problem for him going forward.
I mean, what a horrible problem to have is he's iconic as a beloved superhero.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about the ending or the plot and the batshit crazy shit that it does at the end of this movie, which was which gives him a whole family.
Yeah. Yeah, he summons the Power Rangers, and they build a Megazord out of the playground equipment, and then they defeat the putties.
Yeah.
Not exactly like that,
but well, kinda. So, this is what I want to say, right? The kid that plays Freddy, right?
Yeah.
Jack Dylan Grazer. he reminded me of somebody, like an older actor, but I couldn't put my finger on who the hell he reminded me of. He reminds me of somebody, right? Like I just can't put it on it. Then when he turns into Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel Jr., technically that's who he's playing, is Captain Marvel Jr.
Yeah.
And it's Adam Brody from the OC. I was like, oh, that's who he reminds me of.
Yeah.
And I wonder, how did that work? Like did they reverse engineer? Like did they hire Adam Brody first, then get a kid that seems like Adam Brody?
I mean, I think that's just one of those really, really lucky moments. I don't think, because I tried to watch the credits, I didn't actually see the adult Marvel family credited in the, like, when you're watching the credits of the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it was one of those things where, like, it was just, like, inspired casting, and they were like, you know what? Like, maybe if we call this guy and we're like, hey, we got, like, a cameo for you in this movie, you would be literally perfect. I'm gonna send you the picture of this kid right now. Tell me if this doesn't look like, you or, like, your little brother. Like, you gotta do it. It's gonna be perfect. Everyone's gonna love it.
Well, you want to hear a fun fact? Another fun fact?
Yes, I love facts that are fun.
So the grown up version of Captain Marvel Jr., Freddy, and Pedro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Adam Brody and DJ, what's his name? Cortana, I believe. Cortana?
Okay.
Something like that. They were supposed to be the Flash and Superman in the Justice League movie that got shelved.
Oh, so, like, we already knew that they wanted to be in superhero movies.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
like that was like 10 years ago, and I think maybe Christopher Nolan had a hand in that because he didn't want two Batmans out there, and like his series was going so well, they didn't want to like rock the boat.
Okay.
So yeah, so DJ Cortana, who plays the older Pedro as in his Captain Marvel form, was supposed to be Superman.
Interesting.
And Adam Brody was supposed to be the Flash.
I could see that.
So that's why, and I wonder, is that why they're in the movie for that reason? Is this like redemption for them? Like they finally get to play the heroes that they were supposed to play?
Well, it'll be interesting if we get another one of these movies, if they'll all be back.
I mean, they have to be, right? Like I don't know if you can go back from this. I feel.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
They could just never make another one of these.
You hush your mouth. You hush your mouth right now.
I mean, it's not going to make any more money because Endgame is about to come out.
You see, that's what worries me. The
budget for this was very reasonable, though, so it doesn't have to make a lot of money. But I still think that the timing of this was not far enough away from...
But I also feel like they've garnered so much goodwill with this movie that even if it slightly underperforms, they have to make another. Because I feel like this movie is going to be one of those word-of-mouth movies that grows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, over like, home video. Maybe it sits in the theater a little longer than people planned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
because right now it has like a 90%. It has a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Right.
So, 93%, I believe. So right now, they got all this goodwill. They're going strong. They hit it with Aquaman. They hit it with this. They have to have another one. This is why I'm upset, though, and this is where the fanboy comes out in me. But I'm gonna ask you, Amanda, and I want your honest. I don't want your PC answer. I want your honest answer.
Mm-hmm.
What is the better Captain Marvel movie?
Oh.
That's right. We're going there.
I'm glad we're going there. Okay. So now, first of all, I have to mention that Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, in her little Kree uniform, does get sort of like the helmet mohawk thing, which counts as a hat. Okay.
Okay.
And Shazam Captain Marvel, no hat. So by that criteria alone, Captain Marvel wins. But in terms of, I have a very, very strong preference for stories that stand alone, stories that you can read in one sitting and get the whole beginning, middle, end. It's why I'm like a movie person and not like a television show person.
Right.
So I would say that Shazam is like technically a better movie.
Okay.
Like it does a better job of telling one complete story that makes you feel amazing. And it's so much about, I mean, they're about the same thing. They're about untapped potential. But one of them feels a lot more true than the other one. But I mean, I'm comparing something that I would give like an A+ against something that I gave like an A- to. So like, I would watch them both at the same time if I could. Give me two televisions.
Okay, so I'm biased. Now, we talked about Captain Marvel, and I told you how much I love that movie. But I told you, in my opinion, I think this is a far superior movie. It's not even close in my opinion. Like, as much as I love Captain Marvel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Captain Marvel, without the stuff that I love, is honestly just a middle-of-the-road Marvel movie.
Right.
I don't feel this way about this. I think this is an exceptional superhero movie.
Like, I could see people still rewatching the Shazam movie like 20 years from now, but like no one's still watching Aquaman.
Right, exactly. That's my point. I feel the same way about the Captain Marvel movie. Again,
Yeah.
a movie that I love, right? But like, it's more because I love space. You know what I'm saying? I just love anything space related.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a fanboy in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so forgive me. But I do think this is a better movie. I think it's a special movie.
But it would have been better with more hats, right?
Yes, more hats.
Okay.
Yes, more hats. So we've been talking a while now, but like I do want to cover a few more things.
Okay.
What do you think about the overall plot? You thought the plot was good, or you just thought it was just middle of the road? Like,
I thought that the plot did everything it needed to.
mm-hmm.
I thought that the plot line with Billy seeking out his mom and I was expecting it to be a heart-wrenching answer. I was not expecting it to be that bad. I was expecting him to find out something like she had died in an accident like the week after he got lost, so that's why he never found her and that's why she never looked for him.
Right.
I wasn't expecting her to just be like, no, I just walked away and I didn't care then and I also can't be bothered to care now. Like my own life is falling apart. Good luck. Like I wasn't.
That was rough.
Yeah.
That was really. And
yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, what is this movie rated? Because having a child watch this is like child abuse. Like I'm going to call the cops and tell them to shut this theater down because, a 10-year-old boy down the aisle from me had to sit through this.
It's but I appreciate that they did that because
yeah.
like the kid is 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this only happened 14 years ago. That was in the age of the internet. They could have easily found this lady. I was like, back, if this movie took place like in 1950 something, it'd be a lot more believable. Maybe she lost her child and she couldn't find him. But I was like, but when it happened, I was like, she never found him. She never went back.
Well, that's why I assumed that she was dead.
Yeah, but my thing was she didn't immediately go back because he let go of her hand. I love that they all had like different powers.
Yeah, or at least different strengths.
Yeah. Except so what is Shazam? Is Shazam's strength lightning? But like it seemed like the Asian the Asian kid, had lightning too. So is Shazam just an amalgamation of them all? Is he just like good at
Well,
everything?
so my thought was that like you get, like you have all of this range of powers
Right.
that are available when you are Shazammed. If it's a verb now. So my guess was just that based on like who you were, what your strengths were, like you would use the powers differently. So like it took Billy a while to learn how to fly,
Right.
but Freddie was able to fly right away.
Immediately. Right.
Yeah, and you know, uh oh, the younger sister, completely
Darla.
Darla, went with the super speed right away.
Right.
Um,
And
but
what was
it
Mary's
appeared that,
power?
well, they all had all of the powers.
Right. Right. But like,
But it
what
was
was?
just Mary, I think, was the smart one.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
so we didn't really see her using the physical powers immediately.
Right. And you know what? Mary has always been a character that I love, and I think she gets kind of short shrifted a little bit as far as when she becomes Mary Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else seemed to show off what they could do except for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that they even bothered to get a different actress for her.
Yeah, right. It didn't seem like they needed to.
Right. Like they could have just like done her makeup differently to make her look older.
I mean, to be honest with you, I thought it was the same person for a second. Like I kind of had to squint.
Yeah.
Like, is that the same human being? So yeah, I guess that's it, Amanda. I think we covered it. So Amanda, would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I was joking about earlier, especially if you're waiting in line for a different superhero movie, do not hesitate to see this one instead.
And what superhero movie is that you would be waiting on, Amanda? That you can't get tickets?
It could be Hellboy, for all I know.
It could be Hellboy. So let's talk about what we'll be reading next. Okay, so
we have a plan A and a plan B.
Yes, we do.
Plan A is I get my act together and I figure out what I've got to do to be able to see Endgame immediately. And then we'll be reading the Infinity Gauntlet story.
Yes. And if we do that, we will postpone that episode to the week Endgame comes out. That's plan A. Plan B is we'll see you in 2 weeks and we'll be talking Hellboy.
Yeah.
So Amanda, what Hellboy will we be reading?
So I took a quick look and it looks like the Hellboy character was introduced in a miniseries.
Right.
So Seed of Destruction 1 through 4 should be enough to get a little tiny taste of Hellboy if we're going with plan B.
Yep. Hopefully we don't have to. Hopefully some certain co-hosts we get their act together. No pressure, Amanda. None whatsoever,
Maybe it would be funny for us to discuss it without me having seen it.
Oh yeah, that would be hilarious because that's what I'm into, right? That's oh God, the best laid plans of mice and men. So Amanda, do you have anything else to say about Shazam?
About Shazam?
Before we go.
It was Shazamerific. Is that going to be a thing? Shamtastic?
You know what? Don't make me kick you off this show. You already on thin ice about the Endgame tickets. Do not have me. I will cancel this show behind this if you ever do that again.
It was great.
Who would you recommend it to?
Everybody, especially if you are at the theater anyway, maybe because you were waiting in line for something else, and you don't want to sit in a crowded, smelly theater, you can go see this instead.
Somebody's upset. You know what? We're not even gonna get into the whole all the DC references or the quote unquote Superman cameo that it has.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there though. It's definitely there. Just yeah. So this wraps this up. I am Jamil Payne.
I am Amanda Comey.
And we are out.